What a wild week of Big Brother. Rachel Riley delivered the HOH we needed. We got big nominations: Vince, Mickey, Morgan. We got a veto win by Lauren on OTEV and a last second veto decisions to take Vince off the block, and a Riley threat that ended up being true renomination. And we also got Riley evicted. This man has been even worse to Catherine this last week, and I'm just happy to see him gone. There's going to be no exit press for him, at least for the weekend, so he's probably getting trained up and just whole lowdown of the situation, and I don't think that's a bad thing per se. Let him kind of talk to people outside the house. Maybe he'll realize what he does was wrong, and we'll give him an opportunity to fix his clear mistakes that we all saw on feeds throughout this year, and the expected response by a lot of people to put him on the spot talking about that. But without further ado, we have a new HOH. It was the wall comp we watched live. Final four people were Keanu, Catherine, Lauren, and Vince. And yeah, Vince, the guy who just flipped on all of those people hanging on. Who goes first? Keanu. Impressive just over an hour for Keanu. Big guy. He stayed up there longer than any of the last couple of years winners have been. Really good showing from Keanu. Next out was Lauren after she was like dangling herself up there, saving herself. It was honestly super impressive. Going to be really fun to see that on the show on Sunday. And then it was Kat and Vince. And Vince, who looked comfortable as ever, offered Kat, "Do you want to talk?" And she's like, "We could have talked earlier. I'm not interested in talking." After a couple minutes, and they put the wall at that really steep angle where it's like one of you are going to drop. Catherine drops, and Vince is our new HOH, fresh off a technical flip whenever he kept Morgan once Mickey won the blockbuster. And yeah, Vince is the new HOH. What's going to happen? Well, we've gotten two conversations from him. But I think we can piece together what he might do. First, Keanu talked to him before he got his room, and Vince mentioned that he wants to put up Mickey as a target, Ava because she put him up, that's easy, and then some form of Catherine or Kelly because they both kind of said that he's dead to them after that vote. Keanu pushes back, says, "Don't do Ava, don't do them, try to repair stuff. Put up Ashley and Rachel," which makes sense because Ashley and Rachel have been after Vince for 3+ weeks. And even though they just formed the judges last week, kind of secure the vote for Morgan, can Vince really trust Rachel in an alliance when she's been in an alliance with him multiple times and has consistently wanted him out and has made moves to get him out? Like, Vince was pitched to Mickey to go up by Rachel. Vince was pitched and put up by Ava from Rachel's pitches and Mickey's pitches a little bit. Mickey turned against Vince because of Rachel. Rachel won HOH, put Vince up, told Lauren not to use the veto on him, prayed the Lauren not to use the veto on him. Lauren does use the veto. The person who goes up in Vince's place goes home. I think Keanu's kind of right here. You can't trust Rachel and Ashley to keep Vince safe moving forward because he's losing the numbers that would keep him safe in a vote. And a lot of people out here are being like, "Vince should be judged as strong. Vince should be judged as strong. Vince should be judged as strong. Why wouldn't he trust Rachel?" It's like, who in their right mind should trust somebody that's been getting them out or trying to get them out for 3+ weeks just because you voted the way they wanted to and they made this alliance and when you were clearly the fifth person in? No. Keanu's talking actual game sense. And Keanu brings up the point of like, dude, Rachel literally is good with everybody who was nominated with her last week. Mickey's not mad at her, Morgan's not mad at her, and you're not mad at her. So like, that's absolutely amazing. That's absolute scary. She's going to win this game if she gets to final two. So again, a lot of people online will be like, terrible pitch by Keanu. How could Vince go against the judges and Rachel? Oh, because like, Will, Rachel, and Ashley are all going to vote for each other if they're final two against Vince. They might vote for Morgan over Vince. That's 3 votes. Only one more vote's needed. And if it's a Mickey, Mickey's going to vote Morgan over Vince. Vince loses to Morgan now in a final two, so he can't go with the judges long term. Anybody saying he should is just being dumb and just being a Rachel and Ashley stan, which is fine. They just gotta admit they're being a Rachel and Ashley stan and not talking about things game-wise. Then he talks to Morgan after everybody tries waiting for Vince to get his HOH room and waits to see who leaves. And he wants Mickey up. He mentions Ava up again. We get a little bit of pushback from Morgan, and they talk about Catherine Kelly. Now, we know people who aren't going up this week according to Vince are Lauren, Morgan, Will, and Keanu. Ashley and Rachel are possibilities. Kelly and Catherine are possibilities. And Mickey and Ava seem like the main ones he's really focusing in on at the current moment. We'll have to see tomorrow who he nominates, but yeah, Keanu definitely seems fully safe, which I'm happy to see, because I do think if Vince puts Keanu up and Keanu goes out, 2 guys left in the house, 8 women against 2 men, I just think it becomes very easy for the women to kind of say like, hey, let's just make ourselves the final 8 and make history. It would be great to see them make history. I'd be all for it. But for Vince's game, bad move. Keanu should not be touching the block at all, and neither should Will. These 3 guys need to protect each other a little bit in this game if they want to make it further. Again, I'm all for 8 women and being the last 8 people in the game. But I'm talking this game out through HOH's Vince's perspective. The other people make perfect sense too. But with all that being said, let's just get into our power rankings here. 11-1 this week. It's clear the person at the very, very bottom is Mickey. Everybody has basically seen through her controlling natures, and she didn't come down to earth like I thought she might last week. She really should have voted to keep Riley, but she kept Morgan, and in doing so made Morgan mad because how dare she kind of think about keeping Riley, which I kind of get, but also like, Morgan, she kept you. Mickey is the reason why you're still here. Vince and Ava are reasons, but nobody was banking on Mickey voting for Morgan. That was the big surprise last night, was Mickey voting for Morgan. But Mickey has everybody wanting her out. She's the easy, clear target this week. I just see Mickey having the worst game by far. Everybody is on to her. Even her closest allies like Ava and Will have turned on her really, really in a bad spot. Number 10 is Kat. With Vince winning HOH here, Kat's game is at the very bottom. This is an easy week where she might go home too, right after Riley goes out. She needs to kind of find herself, get her balance, come off that emotional loss of losing somebody so close to her in the house, and try and rebound and have some of those good things we saw from her last week. She was the one telling Lauren, don't use the veto, realizing that her or Riley could go up and maybe one of them go home. Riley did go home. Kat, has decent reads on the house if people open up to her more. Maybe now they will, but the game's gone by too far. I don't know if anybody's going to pick Catherine up. Ashley, Rachel, and Morgan all seem dead set on working with the same group. They haven't branched out as much. Kat doesn't give that much, valuability to them, so she's in a pretty rough spot. Number 9 is Kelly. Kelly. Could be an easy nom, could be an easy target if she loses Blockbuster. Lies a lot, annoys a lot of people, even people who are allies. Like, she worries about them. Not good vibes from Kelly. She's at risk this week. She's at number 9 basically for that reason. But yeah, she consistently lies, consistently makes up lies, goes on all sides. She has no chance of winning this game in a jury vote. I think she'd even lose a jury vote to Keanu at this point. Not in a good spot for Kelly. Number 8, speaking about Keanu, is Keanu. Keanu's safe this week, has another chance at winning HOH next week. He was pretty impressive on the wall. I think he's starting to clock a little bit of the game. He realizes how much of a threat Rachel is in different ways. And as much as Rachel is a ticket for him as a good ally at the moment, she can't be a final 2 with him and he win. And she even said in her DR that Keanu needs to go at some point. She's just using Keanu as a shield and an offensive sword for a while. Maybe he'll see Vince a little bit more closely here. But if he gets in there and he gets kind of that comp run, now that Riley's out, You're looking at a world where if like a Lauren goes out and a Vince go out, he's the one that can easily run through all the competitions all the way through with his physical vetoes and stuff. Riley being out really just means Keanu could win more vetoes down the line and keep himself safe. And if he's safe this week with Vince, which Vince says he is, then it's one more week, one more person gone. Bigger chances for Keanu to play veto. Bigger chances for Keanu to just keep getting his safety. Doesn't have much win equity, but he's moving up the rankings because of that. And people want him in jury more than like Kelly and Catherine and Mickey. Huge for Keanu. 7 is Ava. Ava being left out of the Judges Alliance is basically a huge tank to her game. She kind of doesn't have great reads all the way through. She made the decision that was right for her in getting rid of Riley this week. But she could be a nominee this week for Vinny. She's not that close anymore with Rachel, I feel. She lost Mickey as an ally. Will is not active enough to give her much value. She's kind of in this place where she really needs to win power a couple more times to get herself back in a winning position, but I'm not seeing that spark that I saw in Ava earlier this season. I think she's very low on my rankings because of that. And similarly, kind of Will. Will this week did not play. It worked in his favor, but he did not push and be active as much as he should. I think he got swayed way too much by Mickey. Eventually came off of that. But who is he beating in the end with the judges? Maybe he beats Vince? That's going to be a question. He needs to start winning some comps. He needs to start having more social pressures in the house. I don't think he's going to be targeted anytime soon. I think Will, like somebody said, has a ticket to like Final 4 or Final 3 this season. I love him in the DR. He's a great character. One of my favorite people to watch on the show, but he is definitely not making it that far in terms of win equity, and that's why he's at number 6. I don't think he has the win equity to beyond other people in this game. 5 is Ashley. Ashley, she really needs to up her game to the jury to make people respect her game, because she's still not as respectable, and I think as her game gets more respectable, the bigger target she becomes. Even tonight in conversation with Morgan and Vince, Morgan's like, Ashley's really smart. She clocks everything in the house. And like Morgan sees that as a good thing for her. Vince is already in his eyes like, oh, if she clocks everything, then she clocks me. And that's dangerous. And I think I might, like, he won't say it to Morgan, but you can see in his head, he's like, that's something I might need to get rid of, because like, yeah, it's good to get somebody as an ally early on that can clock everything, but like, we're almost at Final 10, almost a jury. I don't need somebody knowing who the jury threats are, because I'm the jury threat. I'm the biggest target in the house. I know I'm playing the game the best. So I think Ashley is still on the radar of too many people. I think she can get clipped very easily. You know, she hasn't shown herself outside that first veto as being very good at comp. She was one of the first people off the wall tonight. And I think if she's on the block against anybody but Rachel, I think Ashley can easily go home in the game at any point here. That's why she's number 5, and Rachel is at number 4, because Rachel is insulated a little better now. Best HOH of the season by far. Has Morgan on her side. Keanu not as much, but still has Ava. Kind of even has Vince protecting her a bit. Obviously has Will and Ashley. And if Vince protects her this week and gets out one of her opposition people, then, you know, she has the comp ability for double evictions for quizzes. She can be kind of able to be running fast and knows these competitions and these hacks to win some of these quicker vetoes. We'll have to see how much more loyal Keanu's going to be for her moving forward. But if Keanu keeps wanting to make Rachel go far, then that helps Rachel as well get to the end. We heard tonight that like Lauren Cat has said that if Rachel makes the end, she'd win. We know Keanu thinks that. I think Vince kind of thinks that too. So Rachel is moving up the player stock. She had a really bad couple weeks. Didn't love her renom of Riley, but somehow the target stuck, and she was able to just have people around her, like Keanu said, be friends with her, even though she nominated 3 people. And the fact that Vince isn't even realizing, dude, Rachel basically was trying to get me out for the last 3+ weeks, and I was on the block 2 of those times, mainly because of what her pushing was, and not realizing that's somebody he might need to get out or shouldn't be able to trust, just shows the great social work that Rachel's been having. And I don't care what people say. Vince should be wanting Rachel out this week the most, because she has been the one absolutely pushing for Vince to go out. The fact that, like, all you need to say to Vince, like, Vince, if Lauren didn't use the veto on you, would you have been going home like Riley this week? Would Rachel have been making an alliance to get you out this week? Turn those those screws in his head. But they're not quite there. He's kind of realizing it, but he doesn't want to take a shot. He's kind of scared, and that's why I have Rachel at number 4. Number 3 is Lauren. Lauren, with OTEV, with the Walden Night Show, she's going to be a competition threat the rest of the way through, especially if her vetoes once Keanu leaves this game. She's well insulated with Vince. Obviously, Morgan's not that great with her, so there's a chance that she can get clipped in the next couple weeks with the wrong HOH. But Ava's not going to put Lauren up. Keanu's not going to put Lauren up. Kelly Cat won't put Lauren up. Vince won't put Lauren up. Maybe your Ashley, your Rachel's will, your Will's will, but I don't know if they'll always win HOHs now. Quizzes are coming up, and Lauren won a quiz HOH. So I think Lauren's in a decent spot if she can keep herself insulated and win these vetoes and win these comps and be somebody who's just hard to get rid of in the game, as there are bigger threats in the game to take care of. Again, if Keanu goes out before Lauren can go on a comp run, like similar to Mackenzie last year and Jag the year before, and make her way to the end and has a chance at winning. Now, her issue is her number 1 is Vince, and we haven't even talked about Vince yet, so I don't know if she beats Vince, but if she's in there versus somebody else, maybe people respect her game, maybe she starts talking more, maybe she gets more respectable play. I value the comp win presence. Riley out is just another big competitive threat. And we'll see where this goes. Lauren's number 3. Number 2 is Morgan. Morgan surviving this week was crucial because I think between Ashley, Will, and even Ava a bit, but Ashley, Will, and Rachel, she has a good installation to be safe moving forward. I think if she's on the block against Vince, she's likely to stay. If she's on the block against Ashley or Rachel, she's likely to stay. Her nightmare scenario is being on the block against Will. But I don't know if I see that happening anytime soon. I think we haven't seen her win a comp yet. I know. But I think she has someone who could go on a comp run. I think she's very well insulated. I think once you take out other competitors, I think she has a chance to rise up and win some of these power veto comps that have escaped her so far. She'll have to get over the Rachel hump, but that could happen. And again, I think if she's ever on the block against a Rachel, against an Ashley, against a Vince, against a Lauren, she's safe. Ava and Will are the 2 people she needs to be careful of. Everybody else she's pretty much safe against, in my opinion, on the block. And finally, number 1, staying number 1 again, Vince. I'm not a fan of Vince taking out Riley fully here, but I feel like the blowback is pretty minimal, and him winning HOH after is such a big deal. He was not coming off that wall. He was so good. I think he's going to be able to build relationships back in the house where he needs to take out one of the people he needs to take out and get back to that foundation where everybody's good with him in the house. One of his weak points in the house this week was Ava, and the fact that him and Ava voted together, I think, created a bond which could go away if Ava goes up on the block. Don't get me wrong. I think that's the wrong move for Vince to put Ava up. But a Catherine going this week, a Mickey going this week, a Rachel or Ashley going this week, best case scenario for Vince, in my opinion. He continues to have a great social game all around. People like Ava and Rachel are buying into it now. They're falling into his mist. The Vince mist is kind of coming in. I still think Ashley and Rachel and Will pop out and take a shot if they ever win HOH. But we'll see. But that's going to be my talking about Big Brother 27, the power rankings this week. Like and subscribe for all the updates on my shorts. Movie reviews will come back here eventually. I've been with family, haven't had a chance to do much movie reviews, but they'll be here. Like and subscribe for that. And Steelers season is right around the corner, so Steelers Sunday should be coming back anytime here soon as well. I'll see you all later. And yeah, gonna be a fun week with Vince as HOH and Ashley as a have-not.